Whisper of the Heart. From the first glance, you could describe the movie as a sweet movie that you can watch whenever you're feeling blue. It's a movie about a teenage girl named Shizuku who likes writing and reading, crosses paths with another boy her age, and starts to admire his certainty about what he wants to do with his life and how hard he works on becoming a violin maker despite his parents' disapproval. So she starts to channel those feelings and decides that she will attempt to write a fictional story that she wanted to write a long time ago, putting behind the fear of expressing herself. In the end, they reunite and express how they feel and how they are encouraged through each other's progress and achievements. A sweet movie that tells us that we can meet our goals in the end. But what if the movie was trying to tell us something more? Something that represents how Shizuku's life is actually really hard and isn't as upbeat as it may seem in the end. How, you may ask? Let me tell you my opinion. If we really took a close look at Shizuku's family, we would find some hidden signs in each character that were there to be analyzed. Let's start with the mother. The mother. The mother is seen in many situations where she obviously has a social persona and a home persona. Every scene that she appears in inside their house, you find her distracted, requires others' help, and rarely seen in the movie giving any assurance to any of the characters. She was finishing her master's degree, so the whole family's needs were held on pause while everyone's attention was solely on her goal. From letting the oldest sister take full responsibility of the housework and neglecting her desire to connect with her mother, to Shizuku, who she didn't care about throughout the movie. In a scene where Shizuku runs after having an unpleasant day at school, her mom was busy talking to the neighbors and letting her run away without trying to understand what was going on with her. When she didn't have to wake up for her lecture, she didn't bother to wake Shizuku up. And finally, when she was informed that Shizuku's grades were getting worse, she didn't try to understand what was going on with her and left it to her father and sister to handle it. The sister. The sister was what holding the family together. She had the feeling of being responsible for other people's well-being, and she tried to run away from her family once she had the chance. She always had lack of communication with her sister, and when she did, it was always in the form of criticism. This all refers to the probability that Shizuku was raised in a dysfunctioning family. To show how Shizuku truly cared about her sister, when she finds out that her sister is moving out and gets this nightmare where she is running and searching for the emerald, and once she finds it, it appears to be a dead bird, which symbolizes metaphorical death or departure. And to distract herself, the first thing she did was to remember Seiji through the book she had. Shizuku. When it came to her character, you can find Shizuku fitting all the characteristics of what is called the lost child. Inside, she felt like she's fragile, confused, not good enough, and retreats into her own world. Although on the outside she seems like she's perfectly calm, light, sweet, and can handle anything, those characteristics give the family that halo of being fine and healthy. When it came to how the outside world would perceive the lost child, the results were fascinating. Literally, the signs were that you would find that the person perceived as creative, artistic, avoidant of conflict, and lost in books. So what does the lost child really want? And how can the lost child actually satisfy the desire to be heard? Well, the answer is exactly what Shizuku went through. All that she really wanted was to be able to express herself, but was really terrified of the outcome of doing so. To face rejection from people that she truly cared about, and to have to deal with the aftermath of all those variables. So what is the outcome of that avoidance? It's so simple. It's that she escapes by spending a lot of time daydreaming and create all the connections that she desires and being absolutely sure of the reaction. To be able to try and have people always cheering for her progress. What I'm trying to propose here is what if neither Seiji nor his grandfather actually existed, and these characters are Shizuku's coping mechanism with the current state of her family. Shizuku has always been distant from her family. She always read books and stayed outside her home as much as possible. Any artwork she presented, she always tried to show the flow in it before anyone else does. With the flexibility of a writer's mind, she created a fairy tale where she was the lead role. She imagined a world that she went to find people who are similar to her. That world was presented in the magical antique store that provided her with all exciting and new ideas and stories. That world was summarized in two main characters. The first is Seiji, which represents the flame in Shizuku's life. The trigger that made her feel worthy again. He's the one who noticed the small things about her, like how much she reads, how well she sang, and how she could be a professional writer one day. She needed the feeling that she mattered to someone. Seiji was what moved Shizuku forward and motivated her to push through the bad days. Because after having the books as a coping mechanism, she needed something more. Something that has more depth and she can be the lead in it. The second character is the grandfather, who represents warmth and validation. Any kid in the early teenage year will seek for guidance and advice. She created this character not only to give her validation, but also to have some special memories with him. Memories that he doesn't even share with his own grandson. He encouraged her when she needed it and validated her emotions when she was vulnerable. When it comes to the dialogue, a few sentences really stood out in the movie. The first was the part that she added to the song, which went like this: I dreamed of living alone but fearless, secret longing to be courageous. Loneliness kept bottled up inside, just reveal your brave face, they will never know you lie. The main symbol that I really enjoyed was the cat or moon. In my opinion, it represents change and connection. The cat was what made Shizuku discover the empath road, and by following it, she found the new and welcoming environment that she needed. When she felt like she wasn't her old self and began to talk to Moon, she found Seiji in front of her and changed how she felt about herself by providing for her the place where she can be herself without being embarrassed or apologetic, and to be able to think and express herself. When Shizuku was in a state where she felt like she needed to improve but didn't know how to do so, once she decided to change her ways and to concentrate on writing her novel, the cat appears, announcing that it's time for another change in Shizuku's personality. Lastly was when the cat rested by her side when she gave her story to the grandfather to read. She changed by accepting that, like anything else in life, she needs to practice and to be able to own what she created, even if it's not perfect, and to move forward to improve it as well. After Seiji returns from his training unexpectedly one day earlier, they reunite again to be able to declare her new attitude towards herself and to make peace with her mind, to understand how important those characters were in her attempt to cope with life, helping her decide what's the next step, and she decides that she becomes stronger, free from the fear of loneliness, of life like she truly wants, fearlessly. I'm really excited to hear your opinions in the comments below and to discuss what we think about that movie. I really like Whisper of the Heart. I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times, so I'm really obsessed with that movie. Consider liking, subscribing,